crazy ways that you guys would schlep barrels of TFM into these hard-to-reach sites, and we talked about airplanes, we talked about... Can you run through all these and stories behind them for us? Just sort of in a summary, and I can focus on one if you want.
Well, it was, like some of the areas that we had to work in, it was very limited access. So we had to, be very ingenuitive as to how we might get in there. I'm thinking in the Nipigon River area, we took lampricide up to an application site on a rail car with these old hand pump cars. Went up there with that. There was quite a few fly-in sites that we went into with either Beaver aircraft, a float plane. We used helicopters just to get equipment and lampricide in there and personnel. One of the more ingenious ideas we had when we first did the initial treatment of the Garden River, I believe it was, we had 40 miles of pretty well no access, and we'd taken a look at some aerial photographs, and we saw a lot of backwater areas that probably were flooded during spring runoffs and probably contained good numbers of lamprey. So we had a helicopter contractor for that particular treatment, so we thought maybe this would be a kind of a neat way to do it. So we strapped a 10-gallon drum of lampricide on one of the pontoons, and I flew for 4 days with this helicopter up and down the river, and we sort of bombarded these lagoons with lampricide. We had a fluorescein dye mixed in with the lampricide, and a big hose hanging down, so we could just fly in over the lagoon and just lay a big stream of nice fluorescent green dye down there and say, well, there goes your lampricide in. But obviously it was non-selective, but it worked. And flying all day with a pilot that had never flown in the bush before was pretty exciting. Yeah, clipped a few trees, and I was wondering maybe if I was going to make it home in the evening or not. But that was, and again, there was cases where we had to go to, like I'm thinking the treatments on Coburn Island, in the North Channel of Lake Huron, we had to take everything in by a tugboat over there. So we took, and there was no access on, no vehicles on Coburn, so we had to take some trail bikes over, things like that. So yeah, it was. Yeah, I think, and lots of vehicles being stuck in the bush, winched out. This roads that before we had ATVs, it was a little difficult. Most of the time we'd have a truck mired down someplace. Yeah.
Can you tell us the quick story of the old Unimog and where that came from and why you needed it, the amphibious vehicle?
Yeah, it was. I had very few memories of that one. I believe that was a vehicle they used before I came here. We had the one we had after that was a bombardier, a track vehicle, and that was basically similar to a Unimog, but and it would go most places that a four-wheel drive wouldn't go, and but it was kind of a cantankerous little thing. It ended up upside down a couple times. It was back heavy, and the guys were a little experienced. Whoever was driving it would go up a hill, and the thing would sort of roll over a couple times. Nobody was injured, but it did do that. And then we graduated to ATVs. They saved a lot of work. They didn't destroy, rut up, hit too many roads or anything, and they didn't get stuck too often. So they were, much better. Yeah.
In all your time out there on treatments, do you think the general public changed over time in their view, you guys? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, the perception from the general public, what we were doing was actually very good. There were very few incidences where we weren't welcome when they heard we were in town doing our work, and it was good. Nor I would think probably on the Lake Superior treatments and the Lake Huron treatments, original round, most people, they knew what lampreys were, lots of people, but they didn't really know what we were doing, and probably they might have been a little skeptical. And then sometimes at some of those original treatments there was some fish mortality, so our reputation sort of might have gone downhill. And a lot of these old timers don't forget. Like, you go and knock on somebody's door and they tell them who you were. We need access. Oh yeah, last time you guys were here, I saw a whole bunch of dead fish floating down the river or something, or we saw some dead fish. So you'd have to, make an explanation but when we went into Lake Ontario, New York, to do our work down there, we were really welcome down there because that fishery was just developing, and it was turning into a big, a benefit to everyone who worked down there along the lake. That was benefiting from the fishery. So right from the restaurants, motels, charter boats, marinas. They welcomed us with open arms down there. We very seldom had any negative feedback from the public down there, so it was good. Yeah, but now it's for most people along the Great Lakes, Lamprey control is old hand, and they know what we're doing, and they know we do a good job. So public perception, it's good. Yeah.